There we go. Let me shut this off. Always got to change a couple of things here. I always forget this. There we go. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. So I noticed the room had a couple of viewers in there today. I'm just going to check the email is what I'm going to do. If I do see the chat room, if somebody is in there and they do want to ask something or say something, but I am going to check that email, because if you are in the site and logged into the site, you can submit a question and contact right from below. And that's all I'm going to do, so that's just so we all know. That's how we'll do this. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to come on and do my thing and have my conversation. And if anybody is watching live, and if anybody does want to make a comment or has something to say, or whatever the case may be, you have the option of emailing and writing in live, and you also have the option of contacting in on the chat room as well. So like I said, this is our second week. So like I was just saying, it's very quiet right now. Not too many people even know that we're doing this, because I'm not out there promoting this all over the place. There is a Facebook page. There is a Facebook page, a Unity of One Facebook page. There is also a YouTube channel for Unity of One. I'm not sure if it's youtube.com/migration of life. I'll have to get that URL, and I will post it eventually here on the main site, unityofone.com. But like I said, it doesn't look like anybody wrote in, and that's totally, absolutely cool. I do see Andy in there. Like your thoughts on the voting system. The current system is way outdated. Definitely, dude. We have to absolutely change the way people vote in this country. And even just that silly little giving the people who don't like both candidates an option just to have that voice in the way of a statistical, readable vote is really not a lot to ask for a citizen, and it really would just show how many people in this country are collectively on the same page that aren't happy with either political party. Now, granted, there would still be a president elected, because one of the two, choice A and B, would still have a larger majority of vote than somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're going to be like, oh my goodness, there's no president because 80% of the country voted for C. There's still going to be 4% for this person and 16% for this person. You know what I mean? So there would always be an elected process. But even, to go, we'll get into this at another time, but like I said, we don't need local and state politicians anymore. We don't need Congress. There really could be something in system. Look, everybody can get together every Wednesday night and watch American Idol. Everybody can get together every Friday night and watch their lotto numbers being read off. So there could be some type of a system, a channel, something in place where the government does put forth the votes that are on the table, as far as going war, raising taxes, doing this, whatever Congress and our local politicians are voting on and saying they're speaking for us about. Those can now come into our hands, and we can vote on them. And again, yes, no, undecided. Nobody needs to express their personal opinion on why they're voting a specific way. Should we invade this country? This is what's going on. Put your vote in. Yes, no, undecided. And at the end of that, that's a true democracy. That means that the people of this country are the ones who are actually making the votes, and the president, who is our elected representative to represent us to the world, is actually truly speaking for the majority of the people in this country. And of course, there'll always have to be a way to find the balance for the other groups and stuff. But step one, giving us that voice of choice in that vote. The electoral process is just ridiculous. Just let it be by the popular vote. Really, it doesn't matter how many people are in one state and red states and blue states. Just stop all that and let people just vote on the candidate they're voting for. And, you know, as far as my little reality TV show concept, you know, I know that sounds really funny, but, you know, I would love to have an option to look at 90 people from this country from all different types of walks of life and see really who really does have a good idea and how this country can really be run better, because we are really just honoring a system that is very, 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 very old, and this planet, let alone this country, is nowhere near what it used to be. And if anybody really says, well, that's how we still should be, and we still should be honoring that way of life and trying to be that way of life, then that's like a stuck in the mud, non-evolutionary way of thinking. We have to progress as a species. So all of that yesteryear needs to just remain pages in the history book. It does not need to remain as what dictates our life today. You know what I mean? And you also said interested in hearing more about my light topic and where your take goes. I'm not going to get into where we're going with it, but you know, the whole speed of light thing, it's so hard to explain. I'm not a physicist, but you know, for me, it would be, you know, to say, well, why can't we travel faster than light would be like telling the ocean to look more oceany, or looking at an oak tree and saying, can you look more like an oak tree? Think of it. We want to make a vehicle and utilize a technology that can make us go faster than the particles that make that vehicle and make that technology for it to go, that fuel. Whatever it is all made out of what the universe is made out of. So we can't exceed it because that's all there is. We would literally have to find some, you know, fifth dimension or some other universe to go into that was written with different physics, and literally bring a piece of that into here, or bring a technology from there into our universe, because nothing exists in our universe that can go faster than light, because that's all there is, that energy. And you know, I know light is a very vague word, and I said, and I truly mean light in every sense of the word, and I still do, but when I say light, I mean energy. You know, even when you look at subatomic particles, there's a particle, but that particle is not a solid object. It's just light held together by a force. It's just energy held together by a force, and it's the same thing you and I are made out of. Your eyeball has more atoms than there are suns in the Milky Way galaxy, and there's over like 100 billion stars in our own galaxy alone. So think of that. Your eye has so many little atoms, we'll call them, but you should start to think about that on your own. That's what you can really think of until we get into it next week. Atoms. Everything is an individual atom. So when you look at my face, if you break it down to the gazillions and gazillions of atoms there are, they're forming the color in the hair follicles, and they're all, I was just going to say the word that kind of is the reveal. Not reveal, but just my whole point. But we'll get there, because I really want everybody who comes across this video to, for themselves, before we get into the next one, to really think about that. Where are we? What are we? How were we made? Who made us? Just start thinking of those things, not just in the sense of what you were raised to take verbatim. Remember, you know, when and I just said that religion and science never should have been separated, and they were to hide a truth from us. But if you look back at religious text, regardless of what section of religion you're talking about, you know, these were written at a time when we just, as a species, didn't have a good understanding of a lot of things around us. We're very smart nowadays. We're very intelligent, and we're getting very, very intelligent, and we're going to accelerated intelligence will be coming sooner or later. We'll get into that probably next week. Those are the two topics next week are really good. But not that today's weren't. So my point is, though, is I have no idea. I just totally fell off it. I was talking about religion and the different sections. As far as our intelligence now, you know, we have to be able to look back at our chosen religion, at our chosen faith system, at our chosen belief, and look at it and how, for what it was written, and understand that this was the way that these people were trying to interpret a message they were receiving, and it's the way they were trying to interpret events that they were witnessing. I just said it both ways. They were trying to interpret things they were feeling inside, connections and emotions and things like that, and they were trying to interpret events they were experiencing. They didn't know, and I don't mean this in a bad way, we didn't even know that we revolved around the sun, you know what I mean? You couldn't even say things like that. Galileo, look it up for yourself. Galileo waited till his deathbed to say that he believed the earth revolved around the sun and not the sun around the earth, because it was heresy and he would have been killed for it, for blasphemy. That's just, it's insane. So this is how the world was interpreted by then, and these were the people who wrote these books that we're living our lives on. Now, we are an intelligent species now. We have made discoveries, and there is undeniable proof that science has revealed to us in the ways of medicine and education and exploration and geology and geography and universally and cosmology. Science opens up doors in every aspect. You have to, when you look around your house, most of the things that we enjoy and take for granted are a product of science and engineering. Medical advances that's keeping us alive and medical machinery is science. The discoveries we're making in our universe is science. And so much to the fact that even the Vatican astronomers are studying this now with professors here in the United States, and the Vatican has their observatory. I'm sure you know that. So, religion, even religious, the headquarters of religious groups are even looking at some of the science out there and starting to get a better understanding for their beliefs. So, as far as where I'm going with the light thing, I truly and mean this and believe this to be in one of the highest orders of spirituality, and the beliefs that I'm starting to formulate by what I've been experiencing and thinking about, and what I'm coming to a conclusion for myself, leaves me with so much comfort and peace of mind that it actually, to me, is more beautiful than anything we could have ever imagined. So I'm actually very, very excited to be alive. I'm very excited for what comes next, and we're going to really get into this stuff, because it's just for you to be here, for you to have your own unique outlook and consciousness, regardless of the fact that we are all connected and that we all do affect things as a whole here. You do have that unique aspect about you, and the fact that you are here, your uniqueness, that right now you can sit and look around you and have thoughts for yourself, means that you are specifically here for a reason. You're not a random mistake. You are a part of something, and you have been a part of something for a very, very long time, and you will always be a part of it. So it's one of the most comforting things to think about, and it's incredible. It's incredible. What we are actually walking on and breathing in and experiencing is absolutely incredible. I'll say, I'm just reading some of the political comments, and you're right, man. But you know what? Politics is just such a, we're going to get into that at another time, but it's just really bad, man. It's the way we're controlled, and you have to pay for water, really? You have to pay for fruits and vegetables, really? Anyway, my point being is, what we are a part of. Think of this now, like during the week, as you're pondering those questions I asked. Think of it like this. So we know right now in front of me, between me and the camera, there's oxygen and carbon dioxide and all this stuff. And these are these little particles, these little atoms, right? And we know they are just little balls of energy. We know my drums and the door and the wall and the green curtain behind me, the chair I'm sitting on, the phone in my hand, the skin on my face is all made of these little particles. They're just arranged differently that make them appear differently, right? That's why gold is gold, because the way those atoms are arranged, they are reflecting sunlight back to us, so we see gold. Anyway, so considering all that, think of life for the next week as that big ball pit at McDonald's. You know the ball pit the kids roll around in and play in? It's got all the colored balls in it. Think of that, how they jump in it and they swish around it and they run around it. So now you are made of those same very balls. You are just held together by some odd frequency or vibration or some force, and you are walking through a world of these little balls. I know that sounds so funny, but I'm trying to just break this down to the simplest form for you to understand it. These microscopic little particles all around us that make up everything, this solid pole that's right here, which isn't even really a metal pole. It just appears to be a metal pole because of the way these little dots are assembled for me to see a pole. All right, so start thinking of that as you're walking around, as you're sitting at your desk, as you're playing your drums, as you're driving in your car, as you're looking up at the sky. Everything you are seeing is an assembly of little dots, just a little collection and organization of tiny little microscopic dots that are projecting an image to you, or that you are projecting as an image. All right, everyone, I'm going to bail out. It is Sunday. I want to go hang out with my wife and my son, and I want to go see my boy Kyle and hang out. And everybody, I will see you next week. And listen, do me a favor. You know, a lot of people out there right off the bat are going to think that I'm getting out here and ranting on camera, and they're going to think that I am talking this anti-religion, anti-government, anarchist stuff. So what I need you to do, if you want, and it's entirely up to you because everybody has a choice, and you have a right to believe and feel the way you want. And if you don't want other people to know about that aspect of your life, that's absolutely fine. And if you don't want to add fuel to a fire or start a fire or even give the possibility for somebody to come back at you with a negative comment, I fully, absolutely understand that, respect that, and really, absolutely just don't even do it. But if you feel like setting the record straight out there, you can always make a simple post that you just hung out at unityofone.com, and it is absolutely not what anybody thinks it is. It's actually a very cool place for everybody to hang out, and that's how we're going to unify the world, by letting everybody know, no matter who they are, what color their skin are, what religion they are, what part of the world, galaxy, cosmos, or collection of data they live in, they are more than welcome to be here, hang out, talk, and correspond, because we'll always do it with respect for each other, and we will all do it with the understanding that this is my life, this is my experience. The world in front of me is the world that I see. The world in front of you is the world you see. And together we make up a beautiful picture. All right, everyone? I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's go.